cut through the dinner rush like a blade. Plates froze, phones hovered. The Friday night crowd at Bramble Hospitality went from chatter to silence in a single breath. Manager Ryan Blecker had her cornered against the service station, his hand clamped over her wrist, that smirk he saved only for women he thought couldn't fight back, and certainly not a young black waitress. "Relax," he said loudly, for everyone to hear. "I was just teaching you how to greet VIPs with a smile." His grip tightened. Her tray shook. A couple gasped. Someone started recording. But the man mopping floors 10 feet away already saw everything. No one knew the temp dishwasher, currently mopping up a spill, was actually Adrian Cole, the CEO of Bramble Hospitality Group, undercover, holding a mop instead of a boardroom portfolio, and watching his manager harass a woman who had written him an anonymous letter begging for help. Zara's eyes didn't show fear, only calculation. Ryan's voice dipped into ridicule. "People like you should be grateful you even get to work here." That's when Adrian finally looked up. And the room didn't know it yet. But this was the moment that would end someone's career, expose a system, and turn a mop bucket into the first witness in a corporate earthquake. Because sometimes justice doesn't walk through the front door. It clocks in through the back. This is Black Stories, where the pain of prejudice is told, and justice always finds its voice. If you believe real power is accountability, not titles, stick with this. In the next minutes, you'll watch a temp dishwasher flip an entire hierarchy on its head, expose a manager's hidden cruelty, and turn one waitress's courage into the spark that burns a corrupt system down. Like this video and subscribe to Black Stories, because some takedowns don't shout. They step forward, speak plainly, and change the whole room forever. Zara McKay is 23, but she moves like someone twice her age. Quiet, controlled, always scanning for danger long before it arrives. You see it in the way she ties her apron, in how she keeps her phone's camera ready, in the way her jaw flexes every time the restaurant door swings open. That's what happens when you spend years surviving people who smile at you while ruining your life. She works 2 jobs, one before sunrise, one past midnight. Every tip, every crumpled $5 bill, every extra shift she steals when someone else calls out. All of it goes into the glass jar under her bed. A jar labeled with a sticky note in faded purple ink. Law school. Beside it sits her brother's inhaler. Beside that, their father's folded funeral program. Zara's father was a truck driver, killed by a malfunctioning brake system the company blamed on him. His death pushed them into debt, pushed her mother into double shifts, pushed Zara into adulthood overnight. On the worst nights, when her brother woke wheezing, she held him in the bathroom with the shower steaming because they couldn't afford ER bills. So Zara made a decision. My family will not drown quietly. She threw herself into school. Straight A's, debate team, top of her pre-law program. Professors said, "You're going to change the world." She believed them. Right up until the day her mother's bank app showed $23.18 and an eviction notice arrived. Dreams don't die loudly. They die between bills. She dropped out to work. Her mother cried. Zara didn't. Instead, every morning before work, she writes a quote on her mirror in cheap eyeliner. "Dignity is my rebellion." She brushes her teeth, staring at it, repeats it, wears it like armor. At the restaurant, Ryan Blecker chips away at that dignity inch by inch. He calls her smiley when she isn't smiling. Too much attitude when she is too emotional when she asks why her hours were cut. Too sensitive when he makes jokes about her hair, her skin, her look. He touches her lower back when he passes behind her, laughs when she flinches. talks to Latino cooks in Spanish accents they never asked for warns new hires. Watch her, these girls love playing victim. Zara documents everything, every text, every comment, every time his hand lingers too long. HR always replies, "We're looking into it." Then nothing. One night, after a 12-hour shift, Zara sits in the break room alone with a shaken soda and bruised hope. A co-worker passes by, whispers, "Ryan told corporate you have an attitude problem. Be careful." Zara's throat locks. She laughs, but not happily. The kind of laugh people make when their spirit is fraying at the seams. She goes home and stares at her mirror again. Dignity is my rebellion. But tonight, dignity feels thin. Her brother knocks on her door. "I heard you crying," he says. She wipes her face. "Allergies." He doesn't believe her. That night, Zara opens her notes app and types a single sentence. "I don't know how much more I can take." She deletes it. Not because it isn't true, but because it is. She opens a blank document, stares at the screen. And for the first time in months, instead of swallowing pain, she spits it out. "If you want to know what happens to people like me in your restaurants, come see for yourself." She signs it anonymously, heart pounding, shaking, terrified. She hits send to the CEO's public inbox. She expects it to vanish into digital dust. What Zara didn't know was that she wasn't the first. 2 other workers from different locations had filed similar complaints about managers burying harassment reports. Adrian had been waiting for a pattern. Her letter became the final trigger. The next day, a new dishwasher shows up. Head down, quiet, observing everything. He looks ordinary. Zara never imagines he's the billionaire CEO she wrote to. But he watches Ryan like a man who's been waiting his whole life to see the truth. When Adrian Cole walks into the restaurant as Adam the temp dishwasher, his first shock is the silence. Not peaceful silence, fear silence. The kind where workers move fast but talk soft, as if words themselves might get them written up. He's barely tied his apron when he hears it. Ryan's voice slicing through the kitchen like a blade. "Zara, table 12 is complaining their forks aren't shiny enough. Try wiping like someone who actually finished school." A couple of servers freeze mid-step. No one laughs. No one intervenes. The humiliation hits the floor like a dropped plate. Zara doesn't flinch. She absorbs the insult with the quiet skill of someone who's had to swallow worse. Adrian watches her. Not with pity. With something darker, more familiar. The slow ignition of outrage. 30 seconds later, Ryan catches him staring. "You, new guy!" He flicks his chin upward. "You wash. You don't watch." Adrian lowers his gaze, staying in character, but inside something coils tight. Across the shift, he collects puzzle pieces. Piece 1. Brittany from HR in the corner booth, whispering with Ryan, laughing at something on his phone. Workers walk by, and she instantly switches to a fake corporate smile. It wasn't normal for HR to drop by unannounced. And definitely not normal for them to laugh with management. Adrian's stomach tightened. Something here was already off. Piece 2. 2 servers begging not to be put in Zara's section because Ryan's in one of his moods. Piece 3. Zara handling everything. Angry customers, broken POS systems, dropped trays, with grace that shouldn't be possible under that pressure. Piece 4. Ryan's obsession with targeting black staff members specifically. He gives them the worst sections, the hardest tables, The strictest write-ups. The coldest tone. A black male server walks by and Ryan accidentally shoulder checks him. "Watch it," Ryan snaps. The server apologizes. Adrian nearly steps forward, but stops. His disguise must hold. Zara sees the entire exchange. Her jaw tightens, just a hair. She continues pouring coffee. A group of wealthy regulars arrives. Ryan straightens his tie and switches personalities like a mask. "Oh my God, welcome back! Your favorite table is ready." He practically bows. But when Zara passes with a tray, he sneers loud enough for them to hear. "Some staff don't understand presentation, but you know how these people can be." "These people!" Zara hears it. The customers hear it. Adrian hears it. No one speaks. Phones don't rise yet, but they hover in pockets. Waiting, Ryan stations himself near Zara like a vulture. She hands a drink to a customer. He murmurs in her ear, "Smile, sweetheart. Black girls look angry when they don't." Zara freezes for half a second. Half a second too long. "There it is," Ryan smirks. The attitude. Adrian's fist tightens around a stack of plates so hard one cracks. "Adam," another dishwasher whispers, "don't get involved. People who defend her don't last long." Adrian doesn't look away. He sees what no report ever told him. Zara protecting the teenage busser from Ryan's insults. Zara covering shifts for single moms who can't get babysitters. Zara slipping a meal to a hungry new hire. Zara whispering, "You're okay," to a crying server in the supply room. Zara doing HR's job, management's job, conflict resolution's job. For free. Ryan sees none of it, but Adrian sees everything. A customer compliments Zara. "You're really good at your job." Ryan appears instantly syrupy. "She's adequate when she tries." The customer raises an eyebrow, but Ryan pivots back to charm before anyone can question him. That's when Adrian knows. This isn't a bad manager. This is a pattern. A system. A man who has built an entire hierarchy where he is king, and Zara is the servant he keeps beneath his heel. Adrian feels something cold settle inside him. He came to investigate one anonymous letter. But tonight, in this restaurant, he's seen enough to burn the whole system down. Friday nights in this restaurant are a pressure cooker. Tonight, the lid blows. The dining room is packed shoulder to shoulder. Silverware clinks. Flames roar from the kitchen. Servers sprint like marathoners on their last mile. And in the middle of the chaos, Ryan smells blood. He has been circling Zara since clock-in, each accidental brush a little harder, each comment a little sharper. By 7:15 p.m., it begins. She tries to squeeze past him with a tray of drinks. He steps left. She shifts right. He steps right. The collision is inevitable. The tray jerks, glasses wobble. Ryan snatches one mid-air and smirks. "Easy," he says loudly, drawing eyes. "Try not to drop everything, yeah? Customers come for the food, not a pity performance." Zara bows her head and slips past. But Adrian sees it. Every calculated step. Every power move. 10 minutes later, she's delivering entrees when Ryan swoops in again, checking quality. He leans in just enough for diners to hear. With practice, she'll learn not to overseason. You know how some people like to be extra. His tone doesn't need definition. Zara stiffens. Adrian feels that same cold coil in his chest from earlier. Tighter now. Zara reaches for the printer. Ryan plants his hand over the ticket. "Hold on, sweetheart." He doesn't move it. She reaches again. He presses down harder. A slow, quiet trap. "You've been in a mood all night," he murmurs. "New staff are asking if you're stable." Zara's breath catches, but she masks it instantly. A customer calls for help. She slips away, but Adrian notices her wrist. The slight tremor she forces still. The breath she swallows like poison. He catalogues every microsecond. He is no longer investigating. He is waiting. The night hits 8 p.m. The line cooks yell. The dish pit overflows. And then Ryan escalates from petty humiliation to aggression. He finds Zara in the narrow hallway behind the kitchen, backed against a stack of dry goods boxes, reading the next table's order. He steps into her space. "You're slipping," he says. "Customers are noticing. Management is noticing. You don't want a pattern on your record, do you?" She tries to sidestep. He blocks her. Adrian moves closer. Quiet, invisible, the perfect disguise. Then Ryan drops the mask. He grabs Zara's arm, not hard enough to bruise, just hard enough to assert ownership. "Look at me when I'm talking." Zara jerks back. Her voice is low, steady. "Let go." He squeezes tighter. "Go on then. Report me. HR's right downstairs. You think they'll listen to you over me? You've already got a file, remember? Attitude. Boundary issues. Your word means nothing." Zara's eyes burn, but not from tears. From fury she's learned to bury so deep it almost becomes calm. Adrian sees everything. His hands go still in the dishwater. His jaw flexes. His breath slows. Another second. Another millimeter of pressure on her arm, and he knows the escalation has crossed the point of no return. He steps forward. Not as Adam the dishwasher, as a man who has seen enough. But before he can reach them, Ryan tilts his head and whispers the sentence that detonates the entire night. "You should be grateful I even bother to correct you. Girls like you don't get this kind of opportunity." Zara recoils. Adrian stops cold. That was not a slip, not frustration, not stress. That was prejudice, unmasked, raw, confident, certain he is untouchable. The entire restaurant swirls around them, voices, orders, rushing feet, but somehow the hallway feels silent. Zara stares at Ryan, chest rising in controlled breaths. Adrian watches, the final piece of the puzzle falling into place. This isn't workplace tension. This is systematic abuse protected by fear, HR corruption, and a man who thinks he owns the air the staff breathe. And Adrian, still undercover, still the CEO, knows. The next move he makes will change everything. The moment Ryan releases her arm, Zara walks away without a word. Not storming. Not trembling. Just walking. And somehow that calm is louder than shouting. She slips through the back exit into the alley behind the restaurant. A narrow space lit by one flickering bulb. The hum of traffic distant and uncaring. Cold air hits her cheeks like a slap. She leans against the brick wall, breath shaky, hands gripping the edge of her apron. Inside, the kitchen roars on. Out here, it's quiet enough to break. Adrian hesitates in the metal doorway, half covered by steam, half shadow. He shouldn't follow. A temp dishwasher doesn't check on a server. A real CEO doesn't reveal his position, but something pulls him forward. He steps outside. Zara doesn't notice him right away. She wipes her face with a paper towel, not crying, but fighting the urge to. She inhales. Exhales. Her breath hangs in the cold. And then she whispers to the night. "I shouldn't have written that stupid letter. Adrian freezes. Every muscle in his back locks. Zara rubs her arms, staring at the sky like it holds answers she's been begging for. I thought maybe if someone at the top knew. She laughs, small, broken. But CEOs don't care about girls like me, not really. They don't care about people who are stuck. Her voice sinks to almost nothing. They don't care that we're drowning. Adrian takes a step. Instinct, not intention. Zara finally hears him. She turns, startled, expecting Ryan or another staff member. She sees Adam. Just the dishwasher. Just another invisible worker. She relaxes, but only slightly. Don't worry, she mutters. I'm not quitting. Not yet. He swallows hard. You wrote a letter? She nods, embarrassed. I didn't sign it. I didn't want them to retaliate. She shrugs helplessly. I begged the CEO to see what this place does to people. To see how HR buries complaints. How Ryan ruins careers. How this whole restaurant chews us up. She forces out a thin smile that hurts to witness. But nobody came, so I guess he never got it. Adrian feels something crack inside him. Something precise and personal. Because he did get it. He read every word. He replayed that letter in his head as he drove here undercover. He's been carrying it folded in his back pocket like a live wire. And the woman who wrote it, the one who risked everything, who reached out in desperation, is standing in front of him believing her voice never mattered. Believing he didn't care enough to show up. She turns away again, hugging herself against the chill. I shouldn't have hoped, she whispers. That's on me. For a second, she almost laughs. All those mornings, staring at the mirror, whispering, dignity is my rebellion. And here she is. Dignity cracked. Rebellion feeling stupid. Adrian feels the air leave his lungs. This is no longer a routine inspection. No longer about numbers, complaints, or corporate liability. This is the woman who called for help in the dark. Who asked for justice without knowing if justice had ears, and she's breaking. He steps closer. Not too close, but close enough. His voice is soft. Maybe the CEO cares more than you think. She huffs, shaking her head. Trust me, they never do. She brushes past him to go inside, holding her apron like armor. Adrian stands frozen in the alley, the truth hitting him like a blow. She wrote the letter. She brought him here. And she thinks she's alone. Adrian isn't undercover anymore. He is responsible. For her safety. For the injustice he's witnessed. For the system she begged him to fix. He makes a silent promise in that cold, flickering light. Ryan won't touch her again. HR won't bury another complaint. And Zara McKay will never feel unheard again. Tonight stops being an investigation. Tonight becomes a reckoning. The dinner rush hits like a tidal wave. The restaurant is packed shoulder to shoulder. Birthday parties, corporate dinners, influencers holding ring lights above their plates. Forks clink. Wine pours. Servers fly through the aisles trying not to drown. And in the middle of that chaos stands Zara, balancing 4 plates on one arm, weaving through tables as if she were born in motion. Ryan watches her like a predator tracking prey. He's been spiraling all night. Her calm after the freezer incident. Her resilience. The way the dishwasher Adam, keeps glancing at her like he's worried. Ryan's ego doesn't know how to handle being ignored, so it snaps. He grabs Zara by the waist in front of everyone, yanking her back against him. A couple at the nearest booth gasps. A teenage girl filming her tiramisu lowers her phone slowly. Ryan leans in, breath hot and poisonous. Smile for the customers, sweetheart? Or is that too much attitude for someone like you? Zara jerks away from him, shocked, disgusted, furious. Don't touch me, she says firmly. Ryan's face twists, and then he says the line that detonates the night. You people don't get to disrespect me. The restaurant freezes. The background music keeps playing, but the room goes silent, every head snapping toward them, every jaw tightening. A second later, phones rise. Dozens of them. The crowd is now a jury. Zara steps back, breathing hard. Ryan, sweating, red, trembling with rage, starts shouting at staff, at customers, at anyone who will give him back control. Put the phones away. She's aggressive. She's unstable. A calm voice cuts through the air like a blade. Ryan. Everyone turns. Adrian, still dressed in the plain dishwasher's t-shirt, steps forward through the center of the dining room. No hesitation, no fear, just control. Ryan barks out a laugh. Oh, look, the janitor wants to play hero. Get back to the sink, dishwasher boy. Zara stiffens, guilt slicing her chest. He's stepping in for her. He could get fired. It's her fault. But Adrian doesn't even blink. He reaches up and unknots the apron. Lets it fall. The room holds its breath. Phones angle in, lenses tracking him like spotlights. For the first time all night, Ryan doesn't look at Zara. He looks at the dishwasher, really looks, and something in his face falters. He steps to the nearest table, pulls his wallet from the back pocket of his work pants, and flips it open. Behind the clear plastic sleeve gleams the badge every executive at Bramble Hospitality carries. He flips it open, and the badge catches the chandelier light like a verdict. A woman at the back gasps loud enough to echo. Zara's knees nearly give out. Ryan goes white. The name on the badge gleams under the chandelier lights. Adrian Cole, Chief Executive Officer, Bramble Hospitality Group. Ryan's voice collapses into a whisper. Oh, no, you're lying. Adrian's eyes, calm and merciless, lock onto him. Let her go. Ryan's mouth opens, but nothing comes out. I was just joking. She misunderstood. She's always been dramatic. Adrian lifts a hand, silencing him instantly. Stop. His voice isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. We have footage, Adrian says. The words rip the room open. Guests murmur. Phones zoom closer. HR rep Brittany, who had been watching from the bar, turns chalk white. We have witness statements, Adrian continues, stepping closer, each word deliberate. And we have every complaint she filed, the ones you hid, the ones you told HR to make disappear. Brittany squeaks. Sir, I can explain. You'll explain to legal, Adrian says without turning toward her. Ryan sways, sweat dripping down his forehead. Adrian takes one more step. The way you touched her, the way you spoke to her, the abuse, the racism, the harassment, all of it, ends tonight. She came here just trying to earn a living, Adrian says, eyes never leaving Ryan's. She wrote to me because she thought dignity was her only rebellion left tonight. We're making sure dignity isn't a rebellion here. It's the baseline. A voice from the booths calls out, Fire him! Another, Arrest him! Ryan breaks. He lunges forward, sputtering. She wrote lies! She's trying to ruin me! Adrian doesn't move, doesn't raise a hand. He just says one sentence. No, Ryan, you ruined yourself. And the room erupts. The jury has delivered its verdict. Ryan Blecker is finished. The restaurant never truly returns to normal after the confrontation. People are still eating, But no one tastes their food. Every phone in the room is still recording. Ryan stands frozen, chest heaving, sweat dripping down his temple. Brittany, the HR rep, is trembling by the bar, clutching her clipboard like a shield Zara is shaking, one hand on the counter behind her for balance, trying not to cry. Adrian Cole, no longer Adam, the dishwasher, steps into the center of the room and speaks as if the whole building is now his boardroom. "Everyone who works here," he says, voice steady, "deserves to feel safe." A server starts clapping before she can stop herself. Another joins. Then another. Ryan spins, panicked. "This is illegal. You can't investigate me. I'm the manager." Adrian doesn't even turn toward him. "I'm ordering a full audit," he says calmly, effective immediately. Those words hit harder than any punch. A full audit. That means emails, text messages, cameras, schedules, every complaint, every disappearance of a complaint. Brittany drops her pen. Adrian nods to the assistant GM hovering nearby. "Secure all HR files tonight. Nothing leaves this building." Ryan explodes. "This is a witch hunt. She's lying. All of them are lying. She's manipulating you." A customer stands up from her booth. "I filmed everything," she says. Her voice shakes, but she raises her phone like a sword. "He grabbed her. He screamed at her. He said, 'You people,' like she was beneath him. I'll testify." A disgruntled staff fumbles for the remote. The big TV over the bar flickers. The fills with the hallway footage. Ryan's hand clamped on Zara's arm. The sneer, the words, "Girls like you," and "You people," crystal clear under the restaurant's soft music. The whole room watches their manager's real face in HD. Nobody can look away. Nobody can pretend they didn't see it. Another customer speaks up. "We've seen him bully the staff before." A third whispers. "I've complained about him. HR never responded." The dam breaks. Servers start stepping forward. "I filed 2 reports," one says. "3, says a runner. "He said if I complained again, he'd cut my hours," whispers a hostess. Anonymous stories start pouring from every direction. Some trembling, some furious, all real. The entire facade shatters. For the first time in years, Ryan is surrounded, not by victims, but by witnesses. And then a dishwasher from behind the line says, "Check the camera feeds. You'll see everything." Ryan lunges toward him. Adrian steps sideways and blocks him with just his presence. No more threats, no more intimidation. Ryan opens his mouth to argue, but someone in the crowd shouts, "What about last month's incident with the busser, the racist one?" Another, "He told my nephew to go back to where he came from. My nephew was born here." Another, "He shoved a server against the wall. I saw the bruise." Old stories resurface like bones in a riverbed. Adrian takes it all in, calmly, clinically. Then he says the sentence that ends careers. "Ryan Blecker, you are terminated effective immediately." The dining room erupts. Some cheer, some cry, some stand stunned. Ryan's knees buckle. "You can't fire me," he whispers. "You need me. This restaurant needs me." Adrian shakes his head. "No, we need integrity." He turns to Brittany. "And you. Hand over your keys. You're done." She bursts into tears. Protests, pleads. Adrian doesn't waver. As security takes his arm, Ryan twists, desperate, scanning the room for one friendly face. A server he favored, a bartender he joked with, anyone no one meets his eyes. Not a single hand lifts for him. For the first time in his career, he is truly alone. Security escorts both of them out. The door shuts. Silence rushes in. And then the employees, who had been afraid to breathe for years, start clapping. Loud, relieved, triumphant. But Zara doesn't clap. She stands with her arms wrapped around herself, tears streaming silently down her face. Adrian walks to her gently, slowly, giving her space. She whispers, barely audible, "I wasn't crying because I was scared." He nods, waiting. She breathes shakily. "I'm crying because someone finally believed me." The whole room hears it, and not a single person looks away. 1 month later, the restaurant looks the same on the outside. Same windows, same awning, same dinner rush. But on the inside, nothing is the same. The old fear is gone. The whisper network is gone. The rot is gone. Because Adrian Cole didn't just fire 2 people and walk away. He detonated the entire system that protected them. The Zara Initiative. The name is printed in bold on a sleek digital announcement streaming across every Bramble Hospitality Group screen nationwide. Employees crowd around TVs. Servers, cooks, hostesses, dishwashers. Many hold their breath. Adrian appears on screen, not in a suit, but in simple shirt sleeves, deliberate, human. His voice is steady. No worker should fear retaliation for telling the truth. No worker should carry humiliation as a job requirement. No worker should stand alone. The announcement doesn't sound like PR. It sounds like a reset. Hotline posters going up in break rooms, an outside law firm's name under independent reporting, managers sitting in folding chairs while dishwashers and servers speak into a microphone at a listening forum, a slide on the screen that reads, "Worker plus Management Board. Equal seats." For the first time, the people doing the work aren't just background. They're built into the system that's supposed to protect them. The announcement ends with one sentence that hits every employee like a lightning strike. This initiative is named after the woman who refused to stay silent. Zara McKay, Employee Advocate Liaison. Her name, her face, her story. Every server screams, every cook claps. Even dishwashers wipe their eyes. Zara is no longer a waitress. Zara is corporate. Zara has power. And she earned every inch of it. The next day, Zara walks into headquarters, nervous, dressed in a simple blazer she borrowed from her aunt, clutching a notebook filled with ideas. But when she steps in, the employees begin clapping. A slow clap at first, then faster, louder, a wall of applause. She freezes, overwhelmed. Then she sees him, Adrian, standing near the conference entrance, holding an envelope. He waits until the applause softens, then moves toward her. "I have something for you," he says quietly. He hands her the envelope. Her fingers tremble as she opens it. Inside, a letter. Elegant stationery. Official seal. Full law school scholarship. Tuition, books, living expenses. 3 years. Her breath leaves her chest. "I heard you once wanted to fight for people," Adrian says softly. "Let me help you start." "And if I've learned anything from tonight," he admits, "it's that real power isn't titles. It's being accountable when people like you tell the truth." Zara's knees nearly buckle. Tears spill before she can stop them. Years of buried humiliation, swallowed pride, quiet endurance, finally breaking free. She covers her mouth, shaking. Adrian gently steadies her elbow. But before she can speak, a small voice bursts through the doorway. "Zara!" Her younger brother sprints in and wraps his arms around her waist. He'd insisted on coming. He said he wanted to see where his sister becomes a lawyer. The room melts. Servers cry. Someone whispers, "She deserves this more than anyone." Zara kneels, hugging her brother tightly, forehead pressed to his. Her voice cracks. "We're okay now. We made it." Around them, the staff, her old co-workers, stand in a semicircle of pride and awe. Because her victory feels like their victory too. Because she rose. And she pulled the system up with her. Zara steps through the glass doors of headquarters. No apron, no tray, no fear. Just purpose. Just courage. They dismissed her. They mocked her. They tried to break her. But the woman they underestimated became the catalyst for change. Zara stands at the front of her first official meeting. Calm, poised, unshakable. She closes her notebook, looks every executive in the eye, and says, "Some people chase power, but real power is using your voice, even when they try to silence it." "For a long time, I thought," she adds quietly, "that dignity was my private rebellion. Now I know it's our standard." The room nods. Her voice, once ignored, now sets the tone for the whole company. Adrian watches from the doorway, not proud because he changed her life, but because she changed his. This is Black Stories, where dignity rises, truth speaks, and courage rewrites the system. If you believe dignity should never have to be a rebellion, and that respect has no rank, like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more stories where justice finally speaks up.